episode 568 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you are now fully recovered from COVID or you haven't. Sorry. Wow. Oops. Oh, well.
Oops.
We're here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Meghan.
And on today's show, we are finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, back in our studio.
Yes. I mean, we're not hopefully back in the studio. We are back in the studio.
I mean, for good.
For a prolonged
This
period
time,
of time,
yeah.
we hope.
We hope for this time.
Gosh, I really hope we're in the studio right now. Because
Well,
if we're not, I'm really confused.
We could be anywhere, honestly. Like this is all a simulation. So are we in the studio or are we just in some giant god computer's mind? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's for you to think about.
Wow. I do think about it. Kind of often.
I think about all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I feel like we're the Sims and somebody's playing us.
I'm okay with it. Like, I've just decided that of the many things that could be going on,
I've said it on the show before.
I think I'm okay with that one.
You know, I'm just happy they haven't routinely made me poop in my own pants.
Yeah.
And then let me not take a shower.
They really...
Which really tells you something about how I played my Sims.
Yeah. Yep.
Quite honestly.
What a grim look to Maria's sim playing life. You know, I also think that I don't think any entity is actively piloting us.
No, they
right?
just put us
running.
on and
exactly.
they're like, go for it.
They just like programmed it and then
Yes.
they push play. And like right about, I'm sure already and right now they're like, wow, we really should have programmed this better.
If anybody wants to think about this more,
Thanks, big computer.
check out the double slit experiment. Yes, that's really what it's called. For lots of fun rabbit holes to go down to in quantum physics. We'll not be talking about that on the show, however.
We are not quantum physicists.
We're going to be talking about Ravnica murders at Karlov Manor.
Yes, we have a first look at that. Of course, we'll have a randomizer.
Yes.
And we'll talk about how do I get started in Commander.
So we're dressed up here today in these festive looks.
Very festive. I have reindeer on my sweater.
You've got some reindeers. I'm wearing a sparkle mess.
Yeah.
It's like somebody dumped a tube of glitter and look, it's on me now.
It is very shiny.
Because we just got done recording the first ever Good Luck High Five multiplayer Commander game.
Yeah.
And we are very excited to announce it's going to be on our YouTube channel later this month.
It's holiday themed.
Holiday themed for the end of the year.
It's delightful.
And we play some holiday themed decks.
Yep, with Judge Rob and Judge Eric.
Yep, it's a great time, everybody.
Yeah.
So get hyped for that coming out later this month, because I think the game was very fun.
Yeah, it was delightful.
And you get to see more holiday Lukes, because it's not just us who had served
That's
up
right.
on that video.
No.
Rob served in a way that may surprise you.
Yes, you may be surprised.
So get ready for that later this month, everyone.
But before we get started with today's episode, we have some people to thank. And first and foremost amongst them are you, the listeners, and especially the patrons of this podcast. Thank you so much, especially to new patrons, Nicole, Kyle, and Violet.
Yay! Thank you so much, new patrons. Thank you so much.
Kyle, you're really living life in style. You know, like style this season. You've got great holiday style.
Kyle, I don't want to cry because you became a patron.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. And Violet, okay. Thank you for not choosing violence. You get it.
Yeah, I get
this
it. I get
holiday
it.
season,
Yeah,
and
that's great.
instead subscribing to Good Luck High Five.
Absolutely. The non-violent choice.
Yes, exactly. Nicole, oh man. You know what? Thank you for not putting Nicole in our stocking this Christmas.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Got there.
All right.
Thank you so much. You can get a great pun based on your name.
A great pun. You heard it. A great pun.
Maybe legally I'm not allowed to say that. There's an asterisk by a great. If you want a great asterisk pun about your name, please become a new patron or increase your pledge before our next episode over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic and become a member of our Discord community, which is a really fun place to hang out. Meghan and I post in there all the time. I posted a neat little Easter egg for everybody in there this morning.
I posted a draft deck that was so spicy.
Ooh, nice.
How spicy was it?
How spicy was it?
It was so spicy, but I won't tell you about it That's on the Discord.
That's for our patrons to know and for you to guess, everyone. So please join our family. We'd love to have you before the end of the year. Get some great perks and join the fam bam and feel like a great person because you're supporting content creators you love that need your help right now in the podcasting world. I don't know if you know this out there, but it's really hard out there to be a podcaster in the current timeline.
Woof.
It's not great. So
thanks, giant supercomputer.
help us mitigate the damage of capitalism by becoming a patron. Are you contributing to it? I don't know how it works. Anyway, patreon.com/GLHF magic. And we also want to say thank you to Card Kingdom for being one of our amazing sponsors, everybody.
Yes, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, the place to go if you're like, what do I get Magic players for Christmas? Guess what? They're easy to shop for, but also hard to shop for.
Yeah, they've got a gift guide over on Card Kingdom. We've been talking about it. It's really easy and nice to use. I want to say that you can get like the Lord of the Rings holiday release.
Oh.
That thing is like pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, the foils in it are beautiful. It's got a nice little display that it comes with too that makes an entire picture of all of the Lord of the Rings cards. It's really kind of neat. One of those, what do they call them? When
Panorama.
Panorama, yeah. When you put them all together, they've got that over there, but also everything else.
Nice. I was just guessing at the word that you were trying to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what
panorama.
Yeah, you put them together, you make a panorama. I think that's a cool thing that people might not have. So that's an idea for you. But they've got a lot of ideas over on Card Kingdom.
Like a panorama of ideas. That's a bad use of panorama.
Ooh, nice.
But do you know what?
Nice.
I'm sticking with it. Card Kingdom, a panorama of ideas.
Check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. It is now time for the Randomizer, where we go to scryfall.com, hit the random card button, and have to say what the card does based on the art alone. Sometimes we know the art, but most of the time, 99%, we do not.
No.
There's a lot of art in Magic.
There's a lot of art in Magic.
Out. You think by now we would recognize most of the cards, but we really don't.
No, we don't recognize many / most of the cards.
And I've got a real winner for Meghan this week that I hope you're all very excited to see because drum roll, please. There it is.
Wow. Okay.
What is this card?
I am looking at, I can only tell you what I'm looking at.
Okay, great.
Which is a cook who is sampling some, there's a cook who's a goblin who has the toothiest scary smile, like scary tooth smile going on. Tall chef hat, ladle. They have served something to what looks like, I'm going to say this kind of looks a little bit like a sailing situation or like a mess hall. This goblin looks like they have served a sailor in a mess hall and the sailor has taken one bite and is doing like classic cartoon face, this is bad.
Yeah.
Right? Like the iconic, if you are watching a cartoon and they take a bite of something that is like really terrible, their face is like, what? That is what I am seeing here. It is bizarre.
Yeah, if you are a fan of Phil Foglio as the artist on this, you will understand what we're talking about.
It is wild.
It is really good.
I also love that he is signed like on the pot of stew that the goblin is holding.
Iconic.
And there's also like a tankard that the person is drinking out of that has like a face on it.
I want that cup.
Yeah, it's a cool cup.
So
all right.
What is this card and what does it do?
I'm gonna say this card is called Questionable Meal.
Ooh, great name.
It is. I'm gonna say that it's 2 in a red.
Okay.
Oh gosh, what am I doing here? It's 2 in a red for an artifact
meal.
This predates food, all right?
Yeah, this is like before food.
This is before food.
Okay, yeah.
Artifact meal. And when it comes into play, it deals 3 damage to the target of your choice. But then also you have to flip a coin. And if you lose the coin flip, it also does 3 damage to you.
Look, this is the most flip a coin card looking card I've ever heard of.
Like this person did nothing if not flip a coin on the quality of the meal that they were eating.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's take a look and find out how close you are. The actual name of this card is Recycle.
Wow.
Didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming.
It is a green card. It costs 4 green for an enchantment.
I could not have been more incorrect about everything that's happening.
It says, skip your draw step. Whenever you play a card, draw a card.
Wow.
Your maximum hand size is 2.
I was the least correct a person could possibly be.
Oh, wow. This card is unreal. It's from Tempest.
Yeah.
Reprinted in Tempest Remastered.
4 green.
It is not legal in many formats, but it is legal in Legacy Vintage, Commander, and Oathbreaker.
All right.
So start brewing right now.
Start brewing. I'm sure someone has done this.
What can you do with this? Your maximum hand size is 2?
Have you or someone that you know been hurt by recycling? Wait. No. I need to
rephrase it. This card is bizarre.
Yeah.
Absolutely
wild.
bizarre. I don't know what you use it for. I'm sure somebody out there does, but
right. Well, because like you could just, if you have like some way to generate loads of mana, you could just go off.
Yeah.
Because you play a card and you draw a card, and you play
yeah.
a card and you draw a card and you play a card and you draw a card.
Yeah.
You could just play cards for forever.
I mean, it could be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, really neat card. Great art.
Very, very
niche use case.
Very weird. All right, Maria, are you ready for your randomizer?
I am prepared.
Okay, here you go.
Ooh, I've also got a neat little guy in my card. This is an elf with hooves. This is a hooven elf. Like those are hooves, right?
Yeah, they look like hooves to me as well.
Right. They're jumping through a purple forest and they have their hoof up and they're making a big leap. And it looks like they're about to hit somebody with some junk. A recording device? That's what it looks like as a podcaster to me. Some metal junk, and they're going to swing it at somebody's face and hit them.
All right.
I don't know if that's what's going on. They're wearing a green cloak. This name of this card is... Do they have horns? They have antlers. They can't be an elf. What are they? They're not a centaur. They're a satyr. Okay, we got there, everybody. This is a satyr.
Yeah.
It's a green card, and it's called Face Smasher Satyr. It's green. Or is it green-black? Oh, it could be green-black. It costs 2 green-black. We're changing our minds. And when it comes into play, it deals damage to target creature equal to the least power creature that you have.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, and it's like a 2/3.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's
pretty bad.
Medicine Runner.
Oh.
It is, in fact, not trying to smash someone. It is running with medicine.
The opposite.
The opposite.
Right.
It is an elf cleric, 1 and hybrid green-white for a 2/1. When it comes into play, you may remove a counter from target permanent.
How is that medicining?
Because I'm like in the time
counter
of poison.
Is poison. I see. Okay.
This is from Shadowmoor.
Wow. Yeah. That's a very neat card.
Yeah.
There was hybrid vibes, though.
It does have hybrid vibes.
I felt it. I just felt it in the wrong direction. Well, I'm glad that I'm
illustrated by Chippy.
Chippy! Oh, one of my favorite artist names in Magic the Gathering. I'm proud that I thought that somebody was hurting someone when really they were giving them medicine. Says a lot about me personally.
Maria goes into a hospital and is just horrified by what's going on there.
I am very scared of hospitals.
Oh my goodness. I would tell you about something that happened in the X-Files the other day, but I think that it is too foul to even... What? It was so thoroughly disturbing to me that I could not even consider looking at the screen while it was happening.
Really?
Yes.
What episode is this?
It's a season 4 episode with it starts with like the ambulance that's in a car wreck.
Okay.
And there's like the paramedic that dies, but then his body disappears.
Oh man, I don't remember it from this description.
Oh man, I will tell you, everyone, I want you to know, if you're grossed out by things, cover your ears right now.
Okay, for how long?
Okay, it will be brief.
Okay.
You can just cover them for like 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Cover them now.
Ready, go.
They go down to like where they dispose of medical waste, which is literally like people's like amputated arms and like tumors and stuff like that. And they like Scully like wades through it in giant gloves.
Ew.
It was so disgusting. It's the most, it was conceptually one of the grossest things that I could have possibly imagined.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Anyways, it was foul.
Well, I've got something grosser for you, but it's not coming up until we talk about murders at Karlov Manor.
Oh.
Are you intrigued now?
I am intrigued. And also I get what you're doing, but I don't think that it's gross. I don't think that there's anything grosser.
No, it's not actually. It's a big reprieve for you, honestly. If anybody's familiar with our cutest and grossest card categories. So that's excellent. We had 2 good cards and
good cards.
A great X-Files story. That's a randomizer segment, I'll say. Let's take take a first look at murders at Karlov Manor, which, I'm very proud of myself for saying correctly twice on this show already.
Yeah.
Because it could quite easily be murders of Karlov Manor.
Yeah.
Or it could be murders at Marlov Canor.
Oh, another murder at the cannery?
I just think the at is hard to remember because I just want to say, is it of or at? Is it with? Murders with Karlov?
Murders with.
By Karlov
and
over.
And it's a person
from.
whose first name is Karlov and whose last name is Manor.
It could be. Murders at Karlov Manor, everybody. We had a first look this past week. If you're wondering when stuff's going to happen, the pre-release for this is February 2nd through the 8th. So coming at you.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
Wow. So fast.
Releasing the Friday after that. And it comes with a lot of fun stuff. There's going to be new commander decks, as is our want these days,
Yes.
with the release of new sets. So we got to look at the packaging for those decks and what they're going to be called. We got to look at the version of Clue that's going to be coming out with this.
Wow. Yeah.
Which has a magic twist. So there's other magical elements included in the game of Clue, which, to be fair, it did need because Clue is fun. I had a lot of fun as a kid playing Clue.
Yes.
But
fun to play as a kid. As an adult.
as an adult, it's a little different. We're also going to get the first play boosters with Murders at Karlov Manor.
So much going on.
There's a lot that's going to change over with this set, and we'll see how draft is impacted and all the rest of it. Let's just talk about the general concept of this because what is going on? So
let's talk about Alquist Proft, Master Sleuth, apparently Ravnica's greatest detective.
Well, all right, Hercule Poirot, hit me.
Yeah. This guy, 1 white-blue for a 3/3 human detective, creature type detective.
Ooh, I love this. Is a new creature type, everybody. Announcing detective.
Vigilance. When he enters the battlefield, investigate.
Investigate is back. Clue tokens are back.
Love investigate.
It makes sense.
And
yes, Megan. Is there some other text on this card?
There's some other text on this card. X white blue blue tap sacrifice a clue. You draw X cards and gain X life.
He's a little Sphinx's Rev.
He's a little Sphinx's Rev
on a stick.
Maria, I have dreamed of a Sphinx's Rev on a stick. So many times.
Why do you want it on a stick though? You just want
I just want it, and I don't think that they'll give it to me.
No, they
so
won't.
I'll take it on a stick.
Okay, great. It's like this is like the state fair,
Yeah,
the Minnesota
exactly.
State Fair.
Minnesota State Fair. It's all
Sphinx's
available.
Rev.
It's deep fried also. This is deep fried Sphinx's Rev.
Okay. That's what we're calling it. This is deep fried Sphinx's Rev from here on out. This card's great.
Yeah, rather than on a stick, we will
fry
henceforth
'em.
be using the phrase deep fried.
Alquist is deep fried.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I want Sphinx's Rev. So.
This card is amazing. First of all, it's a 3/3 for 3.
Yeah.
Second of all, it has vigilance for some reason. I guess because it's a really good detective, he's got to be vigilant.
Yeah, he must be
LOL.
vigilant.
Second of all, it friggin' investigates.
Yes.
Which, if you don't know, is a mechanic beloved by everybody in the game. Make a clue token, crack a draw card.
Yeah.
And then has Sphinx's Rev tacked onto it.
Amazing.
What more do you want in a magic
Nothing.
card? This card's great.
I mean, I want it to be an instant, but you live with what you get.
So Alquist is our hero in this story because apparently he and the Ravnican Agency of Magicological Investigations, yes, that's what they call themselves. I don't know how they take themselves seriously or put that on a business card, but they do. They need to uncover a murderer. With a string of murders and attempted murders across Ravnica, the race is on to uncover who's next and who's behind it all.
Oh.
So they've got Alquist Proft and his agency. They are also say the team working the case expands as Kaya with her skills with spirits, and Kellen, continuing his adventures across Eldraine and Ixalan, join Proft to solve a plane-wide mystery.
Wow.
So that's the story we're dealing with here. And there's investigators like Kaya helping. We've got Kellen helping out, or did he do it? We also have a range of characters, which are from Ravnica, which we love, and a lot of citizens, quite frankly, look pretty guilty from the get-go.
I mean, I have to say that one of them is Massacre Girl, known killer. So I'm just saying that if I'm looking for someone who's murdering a lot, I might start with someone named Massacre Girl.
Yeah, it's a good place to start.
You know, it seems like a great place to start.
But in the end, it can't be her who did it because that's who we think of first. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because this,
Yeah, you can't be the first person that you think of unless you're supposed to go with your gut, and it is.
Etrata, Deadly Fugitive. So Etrata is going to be back if you're a fan of Etrata, everybody.
Yes.
Krenko, Baron of Tin Street. is going to be one of our suspects. Izoni, Center of the Web, which is the black-green card. Judith is back.
Yeah.
Judith's card will be called...
I just also have to say that Carnage Connoisseur
I
is also a name of someone that I would take
absolutely.
a look at.
Judith is part of the Rakdos clan. And this is not a clan-based set, but Rakdos is my favorite clan, and Judith is incredible, and I love her. And she probably did it. Kylox, Visionary Inventor, is the Is It Guild person you might have to look at. Dinosaur in this. These are not cards, by the way. We haven't seen these cards. We've just seen the art of them.
Yeah.
Dinosaur Inventor looking great. Tolsimir, Midnight's Light. Tolsimir's back.
Oh, Tolsimir is back. And do you know what? He looks less angry.
No, he just kind of, he doesn't look very suspicious.
No, he doesn't look suspicious.
But that could be a giveaway.
But is it always, oh wait, this is Tolsimir, friend to wolves. Okay, he never looked angry. I was confusing him with an angrier person.
Rakdos, Patron of Chaos, is also here.
You know how you confuse people with angrier people all the time. I'm like, no, I was confusing you with someone angrier. My bad.
And Aurelia, the law above.
Wow.
So is she bringing the law, or is she thinking she's above the law and doing these murders?
Great question.
If these are our suspects, who did it, Megan?
Wow.
First
Are
question.
these the suspects?
I mean, there's some of them.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the exhaustive list of suspects, but
okay.
That's what they've given us so far.
I didn't. Okay.
I think. Who do you think it is?
Oh man.
I think it's Krenko.
You think it's Krenko? I don't think it's Krenko. I think that it's. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna get spicy here. I think it's Aurelia.
I mean, Aurelia is a good guess. Because she's an angel, you're like, oh, she's not doing murders.
But Ravnica angels, wait, no, that was Innistrad angels were,
we're bad.
Having a time of murder. So maybe Aurelia
also is having a time of murder.
A time of murder.
Could be. It could be. So those are some of our suspects, everyone. Elquist, trying to figure it out. We have other people helping Elquist, as we said, too. But let's talk about the other cards that have been previewed.
Yeah. We have Deduce, which is 1 and a blue, instant, draw a card, investigate. Love it.
I mean, that's great. It's just really good. We do have a look at Aurelia's card at this point, as of the recording of this episode. So we do know what she does.
Or is it Aurelia, big time murderer?
Aurelia the Law buff. 3 red white for a 4/4 legendary angel. Flying Vigilance Haste, yes please. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, Aurelia the Law buff deals 3 damage to each of your opponents and you gain 3 life.
All right.
I'm in for that design.
That is a card. That is quite good.
I like Aurelia. I'm an Aurelia fan. I've played an Aurelia deck in the past. I like angels. So this card seems more like a commander card than constructed, but
I'm looking at one of the alt arts for her, and it's just like gorgeous. Barbara Rosiak did one of the art versions for this, and it's incredible. This must be it's like the Ravnica frame.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's really, really pretty.
It's like the buildings are kind of building the frame around it, and then the art of her is just spectacular, I think, in this one. It's
beautiful.
Really gorgeous. Nice work, Barb.
The other kind of art they're introducing with this and the cards is called the showcase. The showcase frame for this set is called the dossier. So it looks like a little like
a detective typed it up.
Yeah, dossier, which is kind of cute. So she comes in that one too.
Very nice.
So yeah, I'm a fan of Aurelia, and I'm a fan of that card too. Something else kind of cute in this set is there's going to be clue equipment. So this is like in the clue game, these are in there, but I guess some of them at least are going to be in this set too, because lead pipe is in this set. And so in the clue game, they also have the locations like the dining room, the library, or whatever.
Yeah.
But in Murders at Karlov Manor, the lead pipe is here. It's an artifact clue equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. It costs a single black mana. Whenever equipped creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. 2, sacrifice lead pipe, draw a card, equip 2. So that's what makes it a clue equipment.
Yeah. Do you know what? I love this because it's a little bit like the foods that we've seen in Wilds of Eldraine.
Yeah.
Or on Eldraine in general, like with Gingerbrute and stuff, who is a food but also creature.
Yes.
So I love that clues have moved into this realm of it's a clue, but also it's an equipment.
Yeah, I love it. And I love the nod to clue the game with this card too. And I think it's very, very cute. And I'm a big time fan.
Yeah. We've also seen some spicy cards that we know are going to be in here.
Yes.
Shock is back.
Shock is back, everybody. Get
Single
ready.
red instant deals 2 damage to any target.
Speaking of shock, Lightning Helix is getting a reprint in this set.
Wow. So this is red, white for an instant, deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life.
Wow.
This is like an iconic card of Magic.
It really
is. This is
is.
like an iconic Boros, like red, white card. And so having it back that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the last time we saw it was in Double Masters 2022.
Yeah.
It was Mystical Archive in Strixhaven, so you saw it sometimes. But it's been a minute.
Yeah. Explorers of Ixalan was the last time that it was printed in a main set.
Wow. Lightning Helix.
Yeah.
What a card. Speaking of Boros cards, we have to mention the flavor on Meddling Youths, which I think they probably wanted to call You Meddling Kids.
Yes. Meddling Youths.
Which is just a flavor win. 3 red, white. Human Detective Haste, 4/5. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, investigate. So this one wants you to attack with 3 or more creatures, as does Aurelia, which is notable.
Interesting. And those are both in red, white.
Yep.
Which is a callback to it's Battalion,
Battalion,
right?
yeah,
Battalion,
it
which
is.
was a Guilds of Ravnica. No, not Guilds of Ravnica. Which set was it? Gatecrash.
I don't remember.
I think it was just
Gatecrash?
Gatecrash. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Which was the Ravnica set that we started out with.
well, we're happy about Ravnica, period, because we love Ravnica. That was where we started playing Magic, our
Yeah.
first plane. So Boros is looking like it's going to be a color pair I'm interested in draft for sure. Megan, are you
Classic
aware of speaking of reprints? Are you aware of a reprint in this set that you may or may not have a problem with historically?
Yes. Yes, Maria. And do you know what? What a lovely thing for this card to now exist and not be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Thank you, magnifying glass. We're talking about magnifying glass, which now is a beautiful magnifying glass, not showing a magnified picture of an eye on someone's shoulder.
So this is Megan's top #1 hated card of all time.
Oh my gosh.
#1
in terms
grossest.
of art. Yeah, #1 grossest. I cannot, even now, Maria, if I think about it too hard, it's challenging for me because it is so,
You just can't.
I'm just not okay with it.
You can't with this card.
Magnifying glass, the original
Out of somebody's shoulder.
an eyeball in someone's shoulder. It was not okay.
Well, now
So
we
it's
have
really
a
nice.
cured.
Now it's a beautiful magnifying glass.
It costs 3. You tap it to add colorless. 4 tap investigate.
Yeah. Not a card that gets played a ton, honestly.
Did you not play
Yes.
magnifying glass?
Yes.
I think I remember that.
I would not play that card.
Yeah.
Because because I can't.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
We also have a callback in the form of the card Novice Inspector, which is going to be beloved.
Yes.
It was beloved. It is beloved here. What was the original called?
Thraben Inspector.
Thraben Inspector.
Single white for a 1/2 when it enters the battlefield. Investigate.
Yes, please.
Great.
You may not know. If you didn't play Thraben Inspector, you might be like, who cares, whatever. I'm telling you
I don't
right
know what
now.
to tell you that that card was good.
We just spent an entire episode a couple episodes ago yelling about how not to make overpowered 1-drops, but here we go.
But here we are, Thraben Inspector. I mean, to be fair, Thraben Inspector in part was so great because it was at the same time as Looter Scooter.
Yeah, that's true.
But, so maybe it's not quite as good.
But you still
obviously
played it.
quite
You
good.
still, it's a 1-drop
yes.
you played, for
Oh,
sure.
yes. You took it.
In limited, yeah. So, Novice Inspector, I was very excited to see them print this card. How do you feel about the lands that are with this set?
They're really lovely. But you know what? This is finally a set that I don't need.
You're not freaking out.
Thank you, Magic, for giving me a break. I don't. You know what? It's okay. They're lovely. I know that they will be some people's favorite ones because they are quite beautiful.
They're calling these the impossible lands.
Yeah.
They showcase Ravnica. It's like a cityscape full art.
Yes. And it's kind of they kind of have MC Escher looking pieces to them, right? It's where it's oh, that's not actually physically how a building could work.
I feel like we're going to see Waldo in one of them, Just getting a Waldo vibe from these cards.
Yeah. So they're very
I want to call out Curious Cadaver in this set for having a great type line of zombie detective. By the way, when you're dead, you don't stop detecting.
No.
This is 2 blue black for a 3/1 flying zombie detective. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, return Curious Cadaver from your graveyard to your hand.
Nice.
This flavor text also very funny. Quote, when you said I could learn a lot from a corpse, I have to admit I wasn't expecting it to lecture me on forensic procedure, says Kellen. Yeah, so that's a very cool. That's a very cool type line zombie detective. How do you feel about detective being added as a type in Magic?
Why not?
I like it too.
Why not? We have an angel detective, human detective, zombie detective,
Vidalcan detective.
Exactly. Give us great type lines.
I agree.
I love a good type line.
Let's not be weird about it. We also saw, actually, I said we didn't see any of these cards. Rakdos. We also know Rakdos' card.
Tell me about Rakdos.
Rakdos, patron of chaos. What a true great thing to be a patron of.
Yes.
Just pay money for chaos to happen.
Also, although I am suspect that chaos needs patronage to happen, it feels like something that should just happen.
Are you saying that chaos is innate in the nature of humanity?
Yes.
That we all trend towards entropy?
Exactly.
All right.
Like, so why does it need a patron?
Speaking of quantum theory.
I'm sure that Rakdos didn't even ask if Chaos needed a patron.
No, he just
Rakdos
did
was
it.
like, I'm going to patron you in case Chaos was like, I happen.
Normally-
no matter what. And Rakdos was like, I'm going to give you money for it.
You usually throw money at a problem to stop it, but in this case, Rakdos is throwing money at a problem to cause it.
Exactly.
4 black red for a 6/6 Flample demon at Mythic. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents. If they don't, you draw 2 cards.
Ooh, spicy.
Love you, Rakdos. Kiss, kiss. I love you. Cutie. I think that's a great card.
Yeah, for sure.
So everyone, that's our first look. Previews.
Yeah.
We'll begin shortly. We've got
Wild.
This isn't, like I said, this isn't the guild set of Ravnica that we're normally used to, but we're getting the Ravnica remastered to kind of scratch that itch. So that'll be heavily gilded, if you will. This will not, but I'm super excited for this set because when I've been thinking about what kind of worlds do I want to see in Magic, a murder mystery set was high at the top of my list because I'm a big murder mystery fan. So
yeah, absolutely.
Pre-release the weekend of February 2nd through the 8th, and then released the week after that.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, wow is right. Coming early February, and debuts and previews begin in earnest on January 16th. So that's when we'll see a lot more cards from this set. We'll have a preview card as well, everybody. So Get ready for Magic to change a little bit with this, not only with this, but with the play boosters and everything too.
Wild.
And maybe a better version of Clue. So speaking of the Commander episode that we recorded today, earlier today,
you might be wondering, how do I get started in Commander? Maybe it's something that you've known about and wanted to play. Maybe you have friends who are trying to get you into it.
Which they
but
will.
You are worried. You are trepidatious. Maybe you're like, this is the first time I've heard of Commander, in which case, wow.
I guess congratulations.
Wow. How did that happen? That's wild, but welcome. It's a different world.
It's a different world.
So we're here to talk to you a little bit about, like, how do I get started? Because I think that it can be one of the most daunting things to get into.
Yeah.
Because you have access to essentially
everything.
Every card ever, minus the cards that are banned in Commander.
Yeah.
But you can play whatever.
Yeah. And we on this show we are in this category. We are right here with you.
Yes.
If you don't know, our show was not always named Good Luck High Five.
No, we were once upon a time Magic the Amateuring.
We didn't know how to play Magic.
No. We return to our amateuring roots now.
We do.
To say, what?
Because we have not played a lot of Commander.
No.
We have said on many times, on many occasions, that 100 cards
it's so many to shuffle.
is really hard to shuffle.
Yes. I would say if there are 2 barriers, right, for me, I see 2 barriers to Commander. And maybe you play a lot of Commander and you're like, this does not apply. But do you know what? You definitely have people in your life who aren't playing Commander yet, who you want to have play Commander. And you need to understand the hurdles that they are eyeballing.
There's hurdles.
There are hurdles. So if you already play, these are to help you understand your friends' hurdles that stand betwixt them and Commander. One
Absolutely.
is 100 cards is so many to shuffle.
It's a lot.
But
Shuffling's hard for tiny hands.
in part, we get around that by we simply have the rule when we play Commander, if you're like fetching a land or something, you can search a small portion of your deck and then reshuffle that part and put it on top.
Yeah.
Is it technically
That's fine.
correct? No.
No, I think
Is
it's
it
fine.
still a randomized deck? Yes. And you know what? It sure does make us a lot more likely to play Commander when you don't ask us to reshuffle 100 cards every time that
Absolutely.
we find a new land out of our deck.
Absolutely.
And then 2, it's like, it's intimidating to consider building a Commander deck.
Yeah.
Because of the depth of the card pool.
Absolutely.
And like understanding it's like, well, how powerful is my deck going to be? I don't know. Just like in a void.
Right. Like there's a lot of versions of a lot of cards which
Yes.
do more or less the same things.
Exactly.
But you could put them on a power spectrum.
Am I going to make something that's super powerful and then all of my friends hate me? Or am I going to make something that does nothing?
Yeah.
And then I just lose constantly
Absolutely.
and don't have a good time doing it. There's like so much distance between those two and then doing something accomplishable, like making a great deck.
Yeah. So these are questions that
Yes.
we're sitting here about to have.
Yeah.
You know, as we kind of dip our toe into this format for the first time, which is kind of weird. We've been playing Magic for a long
Yes.
time and we haven't ever truly played this format. And we
Yeah.
want to learn what we should do along with you all.
We've played a couple of times.
We played a couple of times. Majority of them have been heads up though.
Yes, we played many heads up, and then we played with Elder Dragon Hijinks. You can see us over there.
Yep.
Which that was a very fun time.
It was a fun time. And we played Oathbreaker, which is very
Yes.
similar, but not quite the same thing.
Not so intimidating. Only 60 cards, notably, to shuffle.
So we have been holdouts for many years, being like, we don't need to do that. We have enough other stuff.
But do you know what? If so many people like it, then hey, there's probably something out there that we're missing.
Yeah, I'm interested to find out what we could be missing, what about the experience might appeal to us, that we can have an experience that like we will enjoy in this format instead of like forcing ourselves and being like, we're going to have the experience that everybody else does or whatever.
So the biggest thing is like, if you're like, how do I get started or how do I get my friend into it? Ask your Commander playing friends. They're going to be thrilled and be like, can you be like, can you help me build a deck?
Oh yeah.
And they will probably be enthusiastically
Absolutely,
like, yes.
they will.
Or if someone asks you that, know that they probably desperately need help and you should help them. Or you might be able to ask them to just build you a deck.
Oh yeah.
I have played Commander several times and never once have I built my own deck for it.
No, the people who love Commander love it to a point that they will do whatever humanly possible and beyond to get you to play with them.
Exactly.
So,
and also there are people who love building Commander decks. So if you don't love it, just find someone who does. You can give them the gift of the joy of building a Commander deck.
Yes.
And yourself the gift of not doing something
for you, and also the joy of not paying for it in the end.
Exactly. You know, when you need a car, you don't have to build it. You can if you're a mechanic who enjoys it.
Yeah.
But also you could just go go purchase a car from a dealership.
A friend will build you a car.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay. So that's what we've chosen that option.
Yeah. Also, you can get started by, if they're like, well, what do you want your commander to be? Pick your favorite card ever and then find a legendary creature that accommodates or even helps play that card.
Right.
Right. For mine, I could be like, do you know what? I would love to have like a treasure cruise deck.
Right.
That's about Delve.
Right.
Delve is like a cool mechanic. I love and miss Delve. I would be able to play a treasure cruise, which would be amazing. And like Dig Through Time, which is another one of my favorites.
So who is your commander in that situation?
Well, I mean, like, there's so many, right? There's like versions of Narset, who I also love, who cares about instants and sorceries. Although I guess Narset can't be your commander. There's not a commander version of her. But I could have a deck that's like Jeskai to accommodate having Narset. Maybe I could have one of the versions of like Ojit. I love Dragonlord Ojitai back in the day.
That's true.
I could return to some of these cards that I really love, like Dragonlord Ojitai, to play these other cards that I love.
So I think about it as not necessarily what card do I love, but what do I love doing in Magic? And for me, that is playing enchantments. I really, really love enchantments, and I love buffing my creatures in dumb ways and putting dumb enchantments on them or onto the battlefield and attacking for a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And that in my mind, I'm thinking, who is best for enchantments? Who does a lot of stuff with enchantments? And there's a bunch of options.
Yeah.
But I feel like Light Paws is the number one.
Yeah.
So Light Paws is going to be my choice to make a commander deck around and like kind of just, see what happens. And I'm very excited to build this deck and kind of make it look beautiful because that's one thing I love doing with my Magic decks.
That's true. And commander decks are worthwhile to make very beautiful.
That's true because guess what? They're never going to rotate.
And if all of that is, you're just like, look, I really don't want to get into it. The deck building part, I don't want to have to like buy, like even just sometimes buying singles can be intimidating. There's like, there's something about it being like, I have to go and buy like one individual copy of this card. Like, am I going to buy do I need to buy the perfect art that I love? Should I just get a regular copy of it and see if I like it?
Yeah.
You can just skip all of that and just get precons.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my biggest takeaways from last week, we had Judge Rob on to talk about the history of Commander. And one of my biggest takeaways is like how good precons have gotten for playing
really
games
good.
of Commander.
Yeah.
They're very fun, right? And so just get precons. Have precons, have a set of precons that you can play with other people. You can convince your friend group to each get one. You can just get a set of precons that go together and then have people over and play them, and they don't even need to bring a commander deck.
Yeah, you can just upgrade them from there too. I remember I was at an LGS recently and I heard a younger kid say, oh, like I really want to build a slivers deck. What pack should I buy from you that will have slivers in it?
Yeah.
And I was like, kid, I was like smoking a cigarette.
All right, kid. This store should not have been allowing you to smoke a cigarette indoors near a child.
Hey,
I have so many questions about what was happening.
You don't want to buy a pack. Look, if you want slivers, you would just get a sliver precon. And he's like, I don't have that kind of money. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're a kid.
Fair enough. Sometimes you're a child or you simply don't have that kind of money. We've all been there.
But, you know,
yeah,
you can find precons for whatever you desire for the most part.
Yeah. And like also once you have a commander deck, if you get your friend to help you build one, even if you just get a precon and upgrade it a little, like a lot of LGSs have commander nights. You can get a feel for like the vibe of power levels at the commander night that you know that you want to go play at. Be like, oh, is it more like, can I just bring a precon? That's really lovely. There's probably other people there who also just want to be able to show up with a precon and play commander with some people.
Yeah.
Or there might be people who are like, let's make some busted commander decks and all just try and hammer each other into the ground as quickly as possible.
So for a lot of stores, this is what do this because I don't know how to do. I don't know how many lands put in it. I don't know what kind of creatures to put in it. I don't know how many spells need to be in it.
Maria, will you tell me the next time that we meet?
Yeah.
I want you to only tell me. You'll give me some of the basics of like, all right, I figured out how many lands, creatures, and other spells I think that I need to. That's the first thing I want you to tell me. That's the first thing that
I'm going to figure out next week. And then we're going to go from there. I know I could look it up. Everybody, shh. I'm going to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
And and we played today. It was a blast.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably bring this Light Pause deck for a spin eventually.
Yeah.
But remember to look out on our YouTube channel. Everybody go over there, like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications, as they say. But also you should do so you know when our Commander game goes up, because it was a true delight. And
it'll be a good time.
Something's happened, which I will remain saucy about. Hey friends, that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thanks for hanging out here on our dusty raft that's made out of 2 pieces of logs and a garbage pail upside down.
Maria, how dare you call it a raft? It's a yacht. It meets the footage requirements.
It does.
Tip to tail.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks especially to the people who make this show happen every week. Those are our wonderful patrons over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Become one before the next episode to have the episode dedicated to you.
To you.
And to get access to our Discord.
Truly excellent pun.
Yeah, I mean, asterisk, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out cardkingdom.com/GLHF for all of your holiday gift giving needs. And if you have any tips for us on getting into Commander, like we talked about on this set, if there's anything you're excited about for Murders of God dang it, I was so good this whole episode. Karlov Manor, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. And keep your candles burning bright, friends out there. Happy Hanukkah to our Hanukkah celebrants. And I'm just excited for, the actual snow to fall here in Minnesota.
Wow.
Because it hasn't really. Until last night.
I'm not.
I mean, I'm not in that I have to drive on it, but I am in terms of
it is nice.
It looks nice.
It does look nice.
Yeah.
It's about as good a friend as the internet.
That's a perfect way to describe snow.